Traitors who defected to the enemy's side at Canabras are dead. Narrow Cyan expresses its deepest gratitude to the commander. What do I even have finance points? Almost enough to assign a general. Okay. Well, that was a dead end. Oh, all out of movement. Okay. Oh, when's this? I feel like I've been playing for more than a week. Alright. Path to locations unknown. Let's save first, make sure there's nothing else. No bad choices I make, you know? Right. Ooh, it's already Gargoyle Corpse. Looks like the Hell Knight continued to fight the Gargoyle even from the air. They both fell to the rocks and perished. Oh my god. Oh, I have that, the new armor and shield. I don't know. This is a lot. Okay, this doesn't look like it's anything that's usable. Is it like... Oh, it is usable. No. It's, notable. Probably be something I can give to the storyteller. Okay. Now, what are you? Oh. Just strictly better than what I have. Hey, I'll take strictly better. You don't have to tell me twice. This is also strictly better, so there you go. Oh, hello. Commander, quick! Here, come here, quick! Or whatever he said. On the mountain, you see a raided camp and two groups of warriors, one wearing white and yellow armor, the other in black. They are led by a tall man in white priest robes. Some of the warriors glance around fretfully, their weapons shaking in their hands. You hear the screams of gargoyles from above. The beasts are approaching the camp.
Quickly, evacuate the wounded. The beasts are about to strike again. Use cloaks as stretchers. We've got to make it through. Paralictor, your people will have to cover us while...
2 more minutes left out in the open, and neither you nor I will have any troops left to order about, Crusader.
But the wounded...
I guess he's a party member, maybe. Whoa!
Retreat to shelter.
The one called Paralactor makes a barely noticeable gesture, and the swords of his troops execute the wounded. If the man in white has anything further to add, his words are drowned out by the shrieks of gargoyles as they fall from the sky. We need to get through to them, okay? Well, I gotta explain. Ooh, 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 ooh.
Did we find trouble? No, they did.
Kill the gargoyle hunter. Oh, can you stay off of Voljev, please? Do you have a bless? Let's cast prayer. So that lasts for some time. Gargoyles have no loot, which is unfortunate. Okay, there's nothing over here. That was a worthless little journey. Whew, alright. Fiendish Gargoyle Hunter. That sounds like a boss enemy. Smite good! Excuse me? Who told you you could do that? Alright, Soul Seal, hit a prayer. Well, not prayer. Oh, prayer has a short duration. How long is Bless? Duration 1 minute per level. Okay.
March on.
So I'll save Bless. I didn't think prayer was such a long cooldown. I will take a enchanted sword, please. A full plate, please. The sight before you is at once macabre and picturesque. A lifeless couple, a man and a woman dressed in white and yellow priest robes, lie on the ground surrounded by the bodies of dead gargoyles. They are tangled in death. The claws of the monsters are tearing at the human's clothes, and the largest gargoyle's talon has pierced the man's chest and punctured his heart. But before they died, he or his companion defeated the enemy. Suddenly, the woman opens her eyes. She doesn't look at you, but stares up the war wound's horrific red and black sky. Her pale lips open, and she exhales abruptly. The sun will never rise again. Even the sky here is cursed, and we along with it. Jaeger, walking in front, steps over the man's body without looking, but turns around at the sound of the woman's voice. The Mendivian faithful break too easily. You need help. You'll feel better now. The woman pushes you away with a weak gesture. Expend your efforts elsewhere on someone who can be helped. Leave me. My crusade is over. Who are you? What happened here? I am a priestess of the ardent Saren Ray, from the Order of the Sunrise Sword. Next to me is Ashes. Trying to be dramatic, but come on, these names. Strighair, the head of our order. Sorrowful pride sounds in the woman's voice. He has led our forces on raids to the world wound many times. But this campaign, the gargoyles attacked a few nights ago. A vast number. We've never seen anything like it. Ashes organized our resistance with great skill, but while the monsters were distracting our fighters, a small group of them raided the camp and took our supplies. We were left without food and water in the middle of the world wound, where it's nearly impossible to find provisions. We shared the last crumbs of our supplies and set off back the way we came. Everyone was suffering from hunger and thirst. We grew weak and could barely fight back when the gargoyles struck a second time. They snatched many of us away. I saw the pain in Ash's face as he counted the losses, but he managed to rally us. We continued our trek and soon came across the traces of a recent battle. Someone had destroyed a troop of demon worshippers. In our desperation, we decided to follow the strangers to warn them of the gargoyles and seek their help, having no idea they were Hell Knights. But we received only scorn. Every gulp of water my units accounted for, they said. They spared us 2 flasks and a sack of dry bread. They said we were allowed to keep the sack to use as bandages. 2 flasks between all of us and a sack for bandages. Hell Knights. Celia curls her fist, almost grunting through her clenched teeth. I'd rather ally with a flesh-eating, poisonous wyvern. Don't expect any goodness from those black tin cans. If you meet them, count yourself lucky if you don't end up nailed to the nearest fence post. A leader has to take care of their own tribe first. All the scandalized gasps. How could he do such a thing? Suddenly fall away when you're first faced with the hard choice. Are you going to take food out of your own child's mouth to feed a starving stranger? What happened after that? The gargoyles attacked. Despite how the Hell Knight Paralactor has treated us, Ashes endeavored to help them, and had us carry their wounded, but that monster had them slaughtered. Ashes was beside himself. It's difficult to conceive of such evil. He told our people to go with the Hell Knights to find shelter, while he stayed to cover our retreat. The woman exhaled softly. He was a strong cleric, but as he treated our wounded, he neglected himself, and he paid for it. What terrible injustice, but alas, all too common. Those who care for others often perish first. Your commander can't be helped, but you're still alive. Allow me to help you and come with us. The woman looks at you wistfully. Why? So many deaths. So many sacrifices. Such bravery. All for what? No. I will not go with you, stranger. My commander and I will die by what we live for. Compassion and nobility. I don't want to keep fighting for a world that bows to such laws. May the goddess forgive me. Farewell. The woman closes her eyes, exhausted. Jaeger shakes his head. Commander, I'm not the one to advise you, but you're wasting your time on this fool, and the gargoyles will soon be back. That's their usual tactics. Fly up, regroup, and attack again. I'm going back to my unit now, and I'd advise you not stay here for long either. Wow. That's too much. Just take your potion. Quick, let me just loot your body. Gargoyle time.
Do not waver.
Woo, 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 woo. No, 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 no. No, 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 no.
Make every strike count.
Tactical retreat. No.
Strike with all your might.
This is actually more of a fight than I thought it would be.
Into the fray.
Alright, let's cast some
We will
healing.
win this
Lay on
war.
hand others. It's okay, Woljif. Oh. Why does a gargoyle have a scroll?
Let us be off.
Oh, y'all know me. I love some loot. Well, Jif, if you mess up at 95%, I'm going to kick you out of the party.
This is my kind of work.
Thank you. 25 pounds. Ugh. Well, I can put back. I can get rid of it back at camp. Not get rid of it. You know what I mean. All right. Just the edge of the map. I mean, we're gonna help them, but first we're gonna loot them blind. You know, it's bad when bandits do it, but when the commander does it, it's just recapturing supplies.
A failure is just a step
Oh,
to
come on.
success.
A bright future awaits us.
Well, I guess I don't know what that is. Right. Into the cave. All right. Do you have a crossbow? Did I give you a crossbow? Who said that you could have a crossbow? I will not have unenchanted or non-masterwork items in my inventory. Thank you, sir. Oh, hello.
Knight Commander, I presume. Your glory precedes you. I am Reginald de Renge, Paralictor of the Order of the God Claw, contemporary officer of the joint unit of Hell Knights and the Order of the Sunrise Sword. You and your people should take positions. The gargoyles are regrouping. We expect they will attempt to break through in 5 to 6 minutes.
A joint unit. Oh, sorry. The moment you step across the threshold, you are targeted with pale yellow eyes. A gnome with considerable gray in his hair, dressed in black armor, lowers his head slightly. A joint unit.
Forcibly joined. The leader of the Order of the Sunrise Sword was unable to get safe, which is not surprising, considering his, shall we say, excessive scrupulous sluggishness.
It's very
Given the
quiet.
extreme situation, I took command of his people.
Just great. Paladins and Hell Knights all in the one troop. It's like catching the plague and the pox at the same time.
Hell yeah, Woljiff.
Technically speaking, there isn't much in common between these events. While paladins may truly not be frequent members of Hell Knight orders, except for the Order of the God Claw, of course, the probability of contracting both plague and the pox is not all that low. One would simply have to engage in debauchery during an epidemic.
Thanks, Nenyo.
Aw, Nenio, you're no fun.
It's supposed to be good when different people unite. We're here for a common cause. But it still gives me the creeps for some reason. Hell Knights shouldn't be allowed to get their claws into our paladins. It's wrong.
When he was introduced as a character, he wasn't voice acted. I had to voice act him. I gave him kind of a little bit of a whiny voice. Not, oh, Hell Knights shouldn't be allowed to get their claws into our paladins. If you gave me his voice from the beginning, I would have been able to do it. Now you're gonna stay as a the entire time. I saw you ordered your own wounded to be finished off.
Indeed. The gargoyles were clearly trying to capture as many prisoners as they could. I don't know the reason behind these abductions, but I'm not about to give the enemy what they want. That is why all my people were ordered not to be taken alive. And as for the wounded, we didn't have time to get them to safety anyway.
Can you hear yourself? For the sake of principle, in order not to give the enemy what they want, you killed your own wounded. Helpless subordinates. Why does anyone still follow you?
Because we are Hell Knights. We know our duty.
Only someone who's never been responsible for the lives of others could feel any outrage at this decision. The wounded couldn't be saved. What good would it do to anyone if the rest perished along with them?
Paladins don't trade in lives. They strive to save everyone.
You're right, they don't. They give lives away for absolutely nothing.
Did you really give just 2 flasks of water to the Knight of the Sunrise Sword suffering from thirst in a sack to use as bandages?
I spared them the exact volume of resources I could sacrifice without risking my own people. However, the situation has developed, and I've already ordered they be given additional supplies. They are temporarily under my charge, and I can use their forces to rebuff the attack. They'll work for their water.
Regal raises his voice and speaks emphatically, ignoring a whisper coming from a group of knights with the Sunrise Sword. He seems to be reiterating his position for their benefit. Sometimes you must act first and deal with the consequences later. Sacrifice nothing and you will gain nothing.
Noble Ashes and his Sunrise Swords have already done so. This is what it led to.
That's right. The chief is responsible for his own tribe. If he decides that he's responsible for the whole world, his own people will come to ruin. And if he wishes that someone else was responsible for his people, that means he's not fit to be chief.
Regal's harsh words cause a whisper among the knights in the white and yellow. We need to get rid of the gargoyles. Then we'll talk.
Agreed. Be ready, Commander. This attack may be worse than the last one.
Then don't worry. I'll... Oh. Okay.
Victorious.
The Inheritor, guide my blade!
We can do it!
Oh wait, I'm just gonna do turn-based. I am not gonna do turn-based. That is way too much to have to go through. Alright, Nenyo. You're gonna cast Haste. Soul Seal, you're gonna cast Prayer. Sela, buff yourself. I need you to Rage. I need you to cast Enlarge Person. No, Haste first, then Enlarge Person. So I just Enlarge Person myself. Social, why are you so low on health? Excuse you? Okay, I'm gonna keep you up here. And, you know, do you have any other... Let's cause a pit right here while they're coming in. Alright, let's, okay, the pit was not a good idea.
You crossed the wrong mongrel.
Just lawn, please. Is that it? Alright, what kind of, crown did I get? Inspired Wisdom. Do you cast with Wisdom? You do. I will give you Heaven of Inspired Wisdom. My little cleric boy. Little cleric boy. Speaking on, cleric boy, I need you to heal up. Let's see.
This is my kind of work.
Bring your protection +2. Let's go, baby. Alright, does this give you armor? Oh, she's got 29 AC. Yes. That. Did you... Praise the sun. Oh, what a reference to Solaire. I love it. Can I see, does he have the... He doesn't have the Solaire armor, which is sad. But, I mean, come on. You're just gonna reference Solaire like that? It's amazing. Alright, who might... God... Regal gracefully stows his weapon and places his hands behind his back. You two, check the area. Mark any potential shelters and offer protection against aerial attacks. Quartermaster, inventory the remnants of the camp. I want to make sure the gargoyles only abducted people and weren't interested in anything else. Send messengers immediately to our scout squads and order them to return to camp. I need a full list of casualties. The sooner, the better. He turns to you and nods slightly. Commander, your arrival was well timed. Now we can finally talk. I am quite interested in the events that occurred at the Grey Garrison. And I suppose you have questions for me as well. What do you want to know about what happened to the Grey Garrison? Any shift in the balance of power during this war has a direct impact on my mission. If a new player appears who is capable of fighting demons effectively, then I am ready to support that person with all the resources I have at my disposal. Rigel speaks pensively, as if talking to himself. But, naturally, I cannot blindly trust a stranger, even when marked by the gods. You have a right to doubt. I usually don't trust strangers either. So we understand each other. Thank you, Commander. Regal nods, more to himself than to you. Is there anything you'd like to know before we move on to more serious issues? What if I want to join... I don't want to join the Hell Knight. What are Hell Knights doing here within the borders of the Whirlwind? The same as you and your army, fighting a war against the demons. The Hell Knights have always been a part of the Crusades from the very beginning. We don't answer to Queen Galfrey, and we act on our own authority, but we serve the common cause. Descari's spawn have no place in the world. We want to build. Regal barks out the final word. We want to build. What does Paralactor mean? I'm the commander of this unit in the Order's hierarchy. I am 2 steps lower than its leader. In the territory of Mendev and the War Wound, there are few who equal my rank, but I am the most senior Hell Knight officer for many leagues around. We are not done talking about your atrocities. Of course. Parallel doesn't seem hurt or surprised. If you wish, I will explain my position in detail. All of the soldiers killed by my order belong to my unit. Therefore, the case is an internal matter for the Order of the Godclaw. You could have sent an appeal to the Order commanders, but the result is inevitable. Not only do the Order's rule and field operation guidelines not prohibit it, they even recommend a policy of death is preferable to captivity. So, everything that happened, though it is surely lamentable, has deprived me of a few good fighters. It is also a prime example of military necessity. Well, of course, atrocities don't matter if you have a piece of paper that says committing atrocities is allowed. Tell me about it. People can't move these days for little pieces of paper. Behind every scrap, there's somebody waiting to throw a whole book at you. You can't go in there. You can't be in here. You can't go into people's houses when they're not out of town. You can't sell smokes in the street. Paper pushers everywhere. Their rules are an abomination. Of course, you have the right to personal opinions and relations. If the incident is settled, I suppose we can return to relevant matters. What are you going to do now after the gargoyles attack? I'll wait for my remaining fighters to return. What you see here is only a small part of my forces. As for my long-term plans, that depends on the results of our conversation, Commander. Regal narrows his eyes. Before we move on to serious subjects, I'd like to address an organizational issue regarding my unit. You may wish to be present. Yaker steps forward and salutes with a clenched fist to his chest. Paralactor, permission to report. During the gargoyles' forced attack, I determined it necessary to leave my post. I swam over the river, found the commander's army, and asked them to provide assistance. Regal nods. The reinforcements are much needed. You will earn a double salary for your resourcefulness, Yaker, and 100 lashes for abandoning your post. The knight grows a little pale, but immediately salutes again. Yes, Paralactor. I wonder if it's foolish and overly harsh to punish Yaker for leaving his post when he did it to bring help. It will be foolish and harsh, but entirely lawful, to execute him for desertion. Regal peers at Yaker with his pale yellow eyes. Did you know the location of the commander's squad, Knight? No, Paralactor. I assumed I might meet friendly troops on the other side of the river, but I couldn't know for sure. You see, Commander, of course, I can be gracious and look the other way, but that would mean that during the next battle, 10 or 20 of my people will think it's high time they ran to get help. Initiative requires reasonable limits. Not to mention, 100 lashes is hardly a punishment for a true Hell Knight. I'd say it's more of a spiritual warm-up. Yaker gives you a serious look. Thank you for your concern, Commander, but I do not wish to evade fair punishment. I wouldn't be a Hell Knight if I did. Are these guys made of stone or what? They seem creepy, but I kind of like them. I'll never understand this pointless cruelty. I never want to. Rigu, who has watched you closely throughout the entire conversation, nods to himself. Now, for a more delicate issue. You, Commander, were interested in our dispute with the Knights of the Order of the Sunrise Sword, correct? Their forces in Canabra suffered great losses in the demon attack, and now the leader has perished and his troop are in trouble. They are reeling with no command structure. Their order will hardly be able to recover from the losses they suffered. What are you getting at? These fighters aren't the finest material I've worked with, but if I assume formal command over them, I'll be able to reforge them into weapons of reasonable quality. 1 or 2 might even become true Hell Knights. The rest will be put to good use as well. No one but them has the right to decide their fate. Talk to them directly and get your answer. Regal looks at the warriors in white and yellow, shifting cheerlessly from one foot to the other. Initiates of the Sunrise Sword. Your leader is dead. The Order has suffered serious losses and will not be able to recover. You may return to Bendev to join another Crusade Order and hope they don't meet the same fate as the Sunrise Sword. Or, you may remain under my command. I will not promise that it will be easy, or that our war-making will be constricted by your principles. What I can promise is this. Under my command, you will never again feel like helpless mice in the talons of a ravenous raptor. Does that mean we've worked off the precious resources you spent on us? The water, medicine, and bandages? Yells one of the knights in the white and yellow. I wouldn't make such an offer if I thought you were useless garbage. The initiates of the Sunrise Sword consult each other for a time. And then one of them, a young woman in knight armor, steps forward. Thank you for your trust, Paralactor. We will stay, and are ready to obey your orders. Fine. In due course, I will review your troops and make any necessary decisions regarding your role in my unit. Regal turns to you. And now, Commander, for the most important issue, cooperation between our forces. We do have a common enemy and a common battlefield.